Well, I'm excited to announce that on Versed Community, we have just inaugurated a guest professorship that will be held by a writer, critic, or professor whose work values the role of literary study in public life. And this appointment will usually be held during the summer months, where an academic will come join us and host a literature course on Versed for Versed members, and this marks a defining milestone in our community's intellectual life. I think it really affirms the relevance of literary study beyond the walls of the academy and reclaims criticism as a public good. So we're calling this appointment the Gardner Visiting Professorship to honor the legacy of Dame Helen Gardner, whose work was a bridge between the academy and the public during the rapid professionalization of literary study. She's best known for her work on Shakespeare, John Donne, and the metaphysical poets. She's written on John Milton and T.S. Eliot, among others. So central to the spirit of this professorship is Gardner's vision of criticism as a moral and intellectual act of illumination. In her 1953 lecture, The Profession of the Critic, which she delivered at the University of London, she wrote that the torch, rather than the scepter, would be my symbol for the critic. Elucidation or illumination is the critic's primary task, as I conceive it. And she was pushing back against the rise of critics who wanted to determine for readers what literature meant. Now, the holder of the Gardner Visiting Professorship is a scholar in residence who brings to light complex texts to a wider audience, to us on Versed. And Dr. Robin Landrith will be our first Gardner Visiting Professor from September to October, and I can't imagine a better person to inaugurate this professorship. As a professor at Loyola University, Maryland, where she teaches, she's also a scholar, and her research interests include medieval mysticism, moral theology, and hermeneutics. So she's worked in public humanities as well as a co-founder of the Antrim Literature Project, and has taught on the poetry of W.H. Auden to public readers for free in the past as well, in addition to teaching university theology and literature courses. So in September, Dr. Landrith will be teaching a poetry-based theory course. It's a poetry-based theory course titled What Poetry Makes, and that's a line from W.H. Auden's elegy on W.B. Yeats. So the full title is What Poetry Makes, Intro to Literary Theory Through the 20th-Century Lyric. So she's going to lead us in a study of literary theory in the context of the 20th-century lyric poem. As a student, you'll learn from this course about several different schools of theory, including new criticism, which we know very well, that's the close readers, the Frankfurt School, very important school in the 20th century, feminist theory, structuralist, and post-structuralist schools. And this is not an abstract and ungrounded study of theory, but one that is grounded in the immediate readership and the 20th century literary history. You'll see how theory actually shaped the development of reading poetry as well as the writing of poetry. There was this inverse effect because so many poets were also critics and theorists. So you're going to come away from this course with a new appreciation for modernist poetry, as well as a better understanding of the important theories of the 20th century. It's important to note that theory is neither something invented by the postmodernists, nor is it the same thing as ideology. I think it's important to understand exactly what literary theory is. It's merely a method of interpretation, what is called hermeneutics. And it goes as far back as Aristotle's Poetics, Plato's Republic, that has literary theory in it, so does his dialogue Ion. And it goes even further back than Xenophanes of Colophon, who was a critic of Homer and a theorist. He was a very moral theorist. So this tradition goes all the way back. A lot of admirers of the great critic Harold Bloom often dismiss theory, and I'm kind of perplexed by that because it seems like they're forgetting that Bloom was a formidable theorist and critic himself. I think where theory goes wrong is when it tries to replace encounter with ideology. But a good theory course will honor the encounter with the poem and will provide you with a toolbox with different methods that you could use to understand poetry in new ways. And that's what Dr. Landrith's theory course is going to give us, among many other things. You don't need to buy any books for this course. All you need to do is sign up at Versed. Now, I've received several requests over the years to post more video essays on criticism and theory. I'll be doing that in the future, but I hope that you'll take advantage of this opportunity with these lectures, which are going to be fantastic, especially coming from a scholar with a specialty in hermeneutics. These lectures are only going to be available on Versed, not YouTube, but this is something that you're not going to want to miss. It's an important milestone for our community as well, and I'm really excited about what Dr. Landrith is going to bring. So I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, and until next time.